All right, we're recording. We're live.
What's up, everybody?
Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. What the motherfucker? This motherfucker. Doing your hair. All right. We live. This is Lance Prince.
Johnny Walker.
The winner table.
Welcome
Why
back
can't
to
I say it today?
Welcome back to the Winner Table Podcast. And we have an amazing guest.
I think I see him in the distance.
Do you see him in the distance?
I don't know.
I hear him walking.
Do you see him?
I hear him walking. I hear him.
Come on in, bro.
Let's bring Cloud Ray in the building.
How you doing, man? What's going on?
What's good, homie?
All right.
That microphone.
Appreciate y'all.
Shit, you looking fly,
What's
bro.
going on? What's going
Oh
on?
my God! When I
Appreciate
first
you, bro.
saw him earlier, bro, I didn't even know who he. I was like, "Is he? What's going on, bro? Is he running the show today? Like what?"
Nah, he popped out. He was ready to show niggas.
You know how
Yeah.
to come dripped out? Okay. All right.
Let's talk about this
do my
fit
thing.
first. Let me ask you this: What inspires your? Would you say you're into fashion? What inspires your fashion sense? How'd you get this today?
Yeah. I guess I am into fashion in the sense that like I try to match the aesthetic of my brand, my music. So a lot of my music is playful, and I feel like the cartoons. This is a Nickelodeon jacket, right? We got Angelica from the Rugrats.
Give me
on
Jaden
here.
Smith a little bit.
Yeah. You feel me? I got a little quirky vibe to my music,
it.
so I definitely try to match that in my fashion for sure.
I like that a lot. Now, can you introduce yourself to the people? Let them know a little bit.
Yeah. So it's Cloud Ray, the big one, not the little one. And yeah, I'm a New Jersey artist. I do hip hop, pop, and yeah, tap in. You can find me on all socials, Cloud Ray Music, all streaming platforms. Type in Cloud Ray. I've been doing music for probably the past 4 years, but I've been in the industry for the past 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Interesting.
Let me ask you this. You said you've been in the industry for 11 years and then 4 years doing music. What started you? How did you start in the industry? Like, what's the story behind that?
So funny enough, like ever since I was little, I always knew that I wanted to do music.
Okay.
So when I was 8 years old, right, I was in elementary school. All the kids was going outside for recess. I was inside writing the lyrics to songs that I heard on the radio.
Wow.
Yeah. So I knew I tried to involve myself in chorus. I always knew that I wanted to be involved in music. Now, I didn't have the best childhood in school, so I didn't get to participate in all of the opportunities, the musical opportunities that I wanted to. But when I turned 16, I made a decision that I wanted to go to school for music specifically. So when I got out of high school, I went right into iTech Audio in Clifton, New Jersey.
Clifton.
Shout out to Wilkes Figueroa. Yeah, that's my mentor right there. And he taught me all about audio engineering.
Okay.
He taught me about production, songwriting, the music business, music industry. I learned a lot at that school. And then I did 2 years at Brookdale where I learned a little bit there. So, you know, I pretty much did what I could to involve myself academically in music.
I love that.
And the reason I wanted to do that first was because as an artist, I never wanted to walk into a studio and not know how to communicate with the engineer, not know how to communicate with the producer.
Dang.
That's
Yeah.
important. You know, I have heard a lot of artists that, you know, as they learn more about the mixing process or the engineering process, now it makes it easier to actually communicate because it's almost like you're speaking a different language if you don't necessarily know. You're like, hey, can I have the compressor actually a little bit down? Or hey, can you can you raise the reverb on that?
Yeah.
So if you go in there just like, I hear, can you make it sound like I'm in a bigger room? Now that that person has to kind of try to, you know, understand what you're saying, but you guys are speaking different language almost.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I tell everybody it's like speaking another language. So, you know, when people ask me, like, what are some of the things that I should look at when, you know, if I want to be involved with the music industry, and I tell them one of the first things is learn the language of this industry.
Learn the language.
Yeah.
Learn the theory, bro.
I'm
Plug,
in college.
Learn your music theory.
I'm in college for music engineering, and it's like sometimes I forget why I'm there. And it was again originally to just not only learn what is going on, get those details, get vocal lessons. I did musical theater. I got to do the plays, and now I get some more performance in me. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to appreciate in doing these things. Even now, the soundboard and understanding what sounds good, and how to what am I doing here? What is this compression? What am I doing it for? What's this limiter, and etc.
Right.
So I do agree, and it got me to meet other individuals especially coming out of COVID, it was like, it felt like, oh, it's impossible to find anything. So
Right.
for me, it was college at that time.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you feel like the people that you're meeting are the right people? Because I think a lot of the time, too, in this
Interesting.
industry, so a
Valid
lot of the
question.
time
I
in
got
this
shit to
industry,
talk.
yeah,
Oh,
okay, hold
listen,
on.
a lot of people act like they could be someone that can help push you forward, but
Right.
they might be a distraction, even in your industry.
Heavy on it.
Just because they're also in your industry, or they, they look like it could be better than it looks. Most of the time, a lot of people could just steer you off the path, even though they are doing the same thing as you.
Exactly.
Let me flame every.
Oh, here we
I would
go.
say like 85 to 90% of the fucking students in the musical department, which includes
shit.
musical
Yo.
theater to music recording to music engineering. I think it extends to even the beat producing area. You ask these individuals, hey, like, you got Spotify? What's your IG? Or like, what's going on? Like, they're like, one guy I remember telling me about how he's been working on a beat for the past 2 years.
That's a long time to make
Bro,
a beat,
like, what
bro.
the fuck? And when he played it to me, he got only the hi-hats and the fucking snare or some
nah.
shit. And
He
it's
was
off,
playing in your face.
And it's off of BandLab. and half the motherfuckers be saying things like, oh, yeah, I'll get started when I'm out of here. Or like, when I was in the music business class, he asked people like, what do you want to become? So people would be like, I want to be an engineer. I want to be this. And I'm like, I am an artist and I am doing this. And so
But really, they're not.
they're saying I'm gonna be and I want to be. And I'm saying, but I already am.
Right.
And that made a whole difference. The teacher already from that point. But so I'm calling out every kid, get started now.
Yeah, listen, not to
Yo,
be
you
a
heard it
dick
here
about
first.
it.
Fuck.
Not
What
to be
the
a dick
fuck?
about it, but you find when you go to school for music, obviously you don't need to go to school for music, but obviously it can always help you with having that knowledge. But when you go to school for music, there's a lot of people that are just kind of there and not really doing much. So
Yeah.
Right. There's a
Why,
lot of
though?
people in there with a dream, but to have a dream, you need to be asleep. There's a difference between So hold on. To be in this industry, you can either be the person who's climbing the mountain on your way to the top, or the person at the bottom talking about doing it. So in that situation that you mentioned, to everybody in that music department that's not doing shit, yo, fuck y'all. Like,
Yeah,
step
for
your
real.
game shit. Like,
For real.
yeah.
For real.
I want you to
For
say that
real.
one more time. To have a dream, you have to be asleep.
Yeah.
That's actually
Right.
golden, because a lot of people, they say, hey, it's my dream, but a lot of people don't take action and they're still sleeping in it, and they're
So
actually
wake the fuck up.
Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Jesus,
You want
yo.
something? Get up and go get it. Don't sit there and dream about something that's gonna fall into your lap. That's crazy.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
and- yeah.
The other thing I was going to say too is that kind of goes into, you hear a lot of people talking about how the words you use are very important to like how your subconsciously your brain is thinking. And I heard a lot of people say stuff like, instead of saying you have a dream, maybe say it's like a goal, or it's like you're taking action towards something. Because when it's a dream, that means you're not taking actionable steps to actually make it happen.
Right.
We all start saying, hey, my dream is to maybe be an artist. My dream is to be an NBA player. But what are the actionable steps you're doing? Like, are you just dreaming? Or are you taking action? Are you setting
Exactly.
goals?
Well,
Yes.
usually I brush my teeth, go to shower, and then make
Hit
my
the
bed a
gym.
little bit, get cushion,
Do a protein shake.
Yeah. Do your morning routines, all of the things,
and then go to sleep.
and go to sleep. But listen, I'm a big believer in energy, and what you said as well. Like, putting words out there. I believe that words carry a lot of energy, and what you put out there will come back to you. So you have to be careful and very choosy in the verbiage that you use when you talk about what you're doing for yourself.
Interesting.
And how you represent others as well.
I like that.
You know what's
Yeah.
interesting? One of the biggest ones I heard, a lot of people said stop saying good morning and say like grand rising or something like that. 'Cause
Right.
morning, you're mourning the morning, I guess. So it's like,
Right.
that puts you already in a step behind yourself almost,
Yeah.
because it's like, I'm already starting off the day. Good morning.
Right.
I'm
Here's
waiting for
another
the-
one for you. People, when they ask you, how are you doing? Your typical response is say, I'm good. Good is not a great response because it tells people you're content, you're not doing well. You're not blessed.
Interesting.
I always answer with I'm blessed. You know why? Because even if I'm not that day, that's what I want to bring in. That's the
Interesting.
energy I want to vibrate on. I don't want to vibrate on good. Good is like, man, I'm still just trying to get by. Instead
good.
of I am getting by. I'm doing well.
I like that.
You get what I'm saying?
There's someone that brought up like two things I want to say. There's for the good thing. Someone mentioned that that good is an uneducated way of responding in a sense of
Right.
like let's say you're trying to have a conversation with someone and saying that shuts it off. That's basically how they're saying it. Like if you want to have a professional or pushing conversation, if someone's like, "How you doing?" saying good won't do anything but kill a conversation.
Right.
Then the other way around, though, it's interesting you say I'm blessed because we
Yeah.
heard from the gentleman that also mentioned about like how words are spells and the spelling, right? He said bless is be less.
To play
And you're
devil's
saying,
yeah,
so he's
play
saying
devil's advocate
he's
to
saying
that.
like you're saying be less versus you should say be more. And so the new thing we've been saying, if
Or
anything, is like
abundant.
be more yourself.
I mean, it's interesting because I
abundant.
still
It's interesting.
I still resonate with blessed because
Yeah, it's
obviously there's
hard.
like that whole like connection to it. But you know, like that guy was saying, he was like, you know, it's to blessed is to be less versus be more or be abundant. But you know, in the same way, it's still like, you know, I'm blessed, and there's something still bigger and more powerful to saying that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's always. I mean, it's still. It's all letters and sounds at the end of the day. So it's up to how you do put a meaning to it. Because he went as far as to say dog, and then flip it. It's God. Dog is man's best friend. Man is God. You know, dog is close to God.
Yeah.
It's like I get it and I understand it. And I like
Yeah.
it. But I mean, my cat's pretty dope. my cat's been killing it. You know? He's like a dog. You know, it's like yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So that's a
Right.
perspective on that shit. But yo, I gotta ask you. So this tour,
Yeah.
you feeling nervous? Are you
Excited?
Excited? What a-
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this, man. So I'm doing, this week is definitely a lot of press, and we have performance opportunities, and I think it's a great opportunity as well for more networking relationships to be built and just further exposure, getting to perform the music. But obviously, the biggest thing for an artist is connecting with an audience. So I think that's really what I'm looking forward to the most throughout all of this. Yeah.
I mean, not to just not to derail the conversation, but honestly, bro, you sound extremely positive. Like, where did
Yeah.
that come from?
Yeah.
Have you always been like that?
No. No, I have not always been very positive. And, I think that I think everybody goes through a period of life where they are unsure of how to be positive and how to push forward through all of their struggles and trials and tribulations, right? I went through quite a lot of those growing up. I mean, I grew up in a single parent household. My
Wow.
mom, she was raising me alone, and she had to work three jobs just to three jobs just to be able to maintain the rent where we're living and to be able to put food on the table and clothes on my back. And I had to figure out how to hold up my end of that as well. So I think there was a certain level of trauma that I went through growing up to kind of skip past being such a kid at a young age, because I had to figure out how to do my part in supporting that household as well. But at the same time, I will say I definitely had a lot of supportive friends around me. I had a lot of supportive family as well. And at the end of the day, the older I got, the more I realized that I needed to stop wasting time living in such a negative space.
Amen,
because
bro.
And what age?
I would say pretty much when I turned 16, man.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. At 16, you realized you got to stop wasting time?
Yeah.
But was it also with the connection of mortality? I know that's like a weird way to.
That is, that's real deep. I love it though, because yes, in a sense, it is that way,
Fuck.
right? Because at the end of the day, tomorrow could be my last.
Yeah, that's
And I
crazy.
had already gone through a couple situations where I had looked at just kind of calling it quits, checking out, right? Stepping out the door tomorrow, walking into traffic,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Relatable.
There were moments, and some of those moments got really close. So I had to make a decision,
It was do or
Damn.
die.
And that was
Right.
16.
16.
For me, it was 22, which I'm 22 now. So it's been this year, which I feel like.
you reach, hey, celebrate that you're here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's facts. That's facts. And it's a
Yeah.
weird realization to like have it. Like it's like, oh shit, like I could die and I do like life.
Yeah.
And like you're like, oh fuck, wait, this is way more fun than I expected.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
it's
I'm
crazy because I know we all have that like age where you feel like that was the age where it kind of all clicked for you, or like you were pushed into the
What
fire.
was that for you, John?
For me, it was 14 years old.
what the fuck is
Nah.
going
No, it's
on, bro?
Because
That's
here's the
crazy,
thing, like
son.
talking about trauma and all that, I didn't
Yeah.
have the easiest growing up, but also to like just double down on that, at 14 years old, I lost my eyesight. So I would say I lost
Right.
my vision, but I never lost the vision. And having that happen kind of forced me to mature and forced me to actually grow in a different way than all the other kids around me. So
Wow.
it was completely different. And from that age, I had to kind of realize, maybe I didn't realize not to waste time 100% because I can't take for full responsibility saying I didn't waste a lot of time, but it changed my perspective on life as a whole. I was already optimistic, but with that, it taught me a new life lesson.
Well, this is where I get different because didn't want to waste time after 15. So for me, it was like something different. It was like, if I want to be something great, I have to be doing something now. And especially not being accepted in school from forever and just never having friends. I remember in junior year of high school sitting at a table, this kid I talked to since freshman year, just would see him at lunch and whatever. He's sitting at the table and just looks over at me. He's like, "See, Lance, that's why you have no friends." I remember sitting there like, wait, this is the only guy I'm sitting next to because I thought he would be the coolest with me.
Wow.
And and I remember just like, certain things I did the bodybuilding shows, MMA and etc. But there was still no connection to mortality though. Like I never,
Okay.
so
It
that's
didn't
really,
click at that time.
there was, it's
Right.
still no, that was not because I knew I was gonna die or not. And it was more like I'm wasting life worrying about let me be this now and then let's see what they say.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's
Respect
interesting, kind of piggyback off that, kind of when you say mortality or almost the idea of loss, I feel like it kind of puts into perspective when you lose something large to you. Some people might lose like maybe a family member at a young age, and that kind of sets them into like their path. And that's why I always say for me it was at age of 14, because losing your, something that you've always had or like completely changing your life, derailing it is almost like losing someone very close to you. So that's almost why, like, to kind of go deeper into that, you say trauma and you grew up with some trauma. I feel like trauma could be a starter. And the thing with trauma is it could either break you or make you.
Yeah.
What was the thing that you would say really made it so you took the trauma and allowed it to actually build you up versus keep you stagnant and put you in the ground?
Well, I knew, for one, again, like I said earlier, I knew I wanted to do music. So I thought that was really important to me because knowing that I wanted to do that at such a young age also came with knowing that I had a little bit of a different mindset than the other kids around me.
Facts.
None of them knew what they wanted to do at 8 years
Facts.
old, right? But I did, and I thought that was something that set me apart, but in not in the sense that like, oh, I'm better than y'all because I know what I want to do, but more so in the sense that like I need to focus on doing this because I don't have these thoughts. I don't have this drive for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
You had direction at a
Wow.
young age,
I had-
which is wild.
Right. So, at 16, when I decided, I need to fully take a step into this direction, I think it kind of woke me up to say, hey, if I don't do this and I decide to check out,
Yep.
then I'm letting not only the people around me who are supporting me down, but I'm letting myself down and all of the people that I could potentially connect with and affect their lives so they never have to feel alone like I did before I made that decision.
And you know what's cool about that too is I feel like when you're given a gift, almost like a gift, because it is the craziest thing is a lot of people don't get to find their gift or their, it's a blessing to know your direction or what you want to do, your purpose at a young age. And when you're given that gift, I feel like letting it fall to the side is almost like a disservice to yourself because you were put here for a reason is what I feel like. And those, that do have that gift and find that purpose at a young age, easily, it's a little bit easier because it's like we don't have to look around, go to college with no master, or you don't have your, what you're going for. You know what you're going for, and to let that kind of fall to the side, I feel like is a disservice to yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, my mom, she was my biggest supporter.
Oh,
you know,
beautiful.
so I definitely didn't want to let her down. With as hard as she was working outside of supporting me in music to just keep me alive, I definitely didn't want to let her down. 2 years ago, she passed away.
Aw.
So that was another moment for me that kind of reinforced everything I had already been building up. If I hadn't made the decision when I did at 16, if I hadn't gone through everything between 8 years old and I'm now 28, I don't think I would have been prepared for that loss the way I was.
Yeah, that's
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 heavy.
tough.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was a heavy moment in my life, but the point here is that I took that and used it as reinforcement for everything I had already gone through to keep me going. I could have easily decided, you know what, I lost everything just now,
Yeah.
and this is it. There's nothing else for me to continue for. But because I had already continued to build on a mindset, right, on all of the trauma that I went through, I feel like I was more prepared for that. And honestly, I couldn't have continued to go either without the people who are around me during that time. But when I'm focusing in on my journey, my purpose, my destiny, the reason why I'm here, I look at those things and find that positivity, that encouragement.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I just want to say, your mom is probably looking down on you, so proud of you, and she's walking with you right now. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Just because we lose someone in the flesh or on this earth, that doesn't mean we lose them as a whole, as far as their spirit, their energy, and like everything, like their memory. And we will always see them again. It's not soon enough, but we will see them again. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing that I think you can keep pushing forward. And I think you're an inspiration to anyone that has lost someone, whether that be a mother or a father or something. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough
I want to
subject.
ask you one more deep question just before we get into some more music.
Yeah.
So you said you grew up in a single household, just your mom. How close are you to your father? Have you never met him? Have you ever seen him? What's
that man, first of all, shout out to the FBI doing their thing. I hope y'all find him. Because
we're asking good questions.
Yeah, that man is on a wanted list. So hopefully he's found. He has who knows how many families that he needs to take care of. And he, consistently is skipping town to other countries, evading all of his fatherly duty. Yes. Heavy on the tax evasion.
Wow.
So, that's an unfortunate situation, but it's not my problem. So at the end of the day, shout out to the FBI. Do y'all thing.
I know this might be like random, but like, how does it make you feel about being a father maybe in the future? Or
Great question.
Yeah, that's huge. So one of the big traumas I went through growing up at an early age was my fear of being a good father, being a good brother, being a good uncle, all of those things. Being a good man. I didn't have a role model ever. I didn't have an example. My role model was my mom. She had to be the mom and the dad.
Yeah,
and that wasn't fair.
That's hard.
I think that's always the hardest part about like being a single mother. I feel like they have to play both of that, both of those role models, which is so tough.
And
it's also confusing for the child in that point too, where it's like, well, my mom is my dad and my mom almost for that role model purpose, and it's like it could, it's tough.
Yeah. So
shout out to her.
Shout out to her. She did her thing. And she did the best she could, and I don't nail her to a cross for it.
No,
I pretty much give her grace and her praises. But at the end of the day, I just didn't have a male role model, so I had to figure this shit out myself.
I'm gonna get into that too, because I feel like a lot of the black community don't have a good male role model. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I would. In my experience and the friends that I made and the people that I know and. Even people who, closer to me who have a male figure in their lives still don't have a good,
don't have a positive role model.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, because I think about like what I've become as a person. There's certain people like my sensei from when I was in karate. He was a young 30-year-old, whatever. I was 14, and it was just like that perfect age for me to look at a person who's fit and And I was like, oh, I want to work out now too. Like remembering that John Cena thing that I mentioned in the last podcast. Like it's like. All of those things combine into those positive reinforcements for me, comparably to other people in certain different situations.
Yeah, I think you could find the thing is, there's it's important to find a positive male role model, and to not to have a male figure in your life that is almost a negative role model is just as bad as having no positive
I think so.
male role
I
models.
agree.
And as being a black male, part of like what I feel like. Not only music, but like having a platform is almost being that inspiration, that role model to those that don't have that.
Yeah, I think so. And I think too that, for in my situation, having to navigate the road myself to try and figure it out, I find a lot of respect in those individuals who do that as well, because it takes a lot to have to find the confidence and the courage to want to do that yourself, because it's so easy to go the other direction and to just be a bad person.
I mean, it's easy. I feel like it's a confliction every day. Should I steal this from Walmart?
Easy, depending on the person, because you might have moral conflictions that will kill you and eat you up. I feel like for sure. Like, I mean, in my head, I think about like just how I'm like quenching to like gruesome bloody, this and that. And if I accidentally stab someone, I think those memories will be replaying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Nightmares forever. Yeah.
But it's almost like the easy things too, where it's like, should I steal this thing from Walmart today?
Well, okay, but yeah, maybe you're right. But there are some things.
There's those
you're right.
everyday conflictions where it's like,
There's
will
some
this make
morals
me a
that
bad
go-
person? Do I have to fully go into this and think
Yeah,
about it?
fuck corporate. No. Yeah, that's crazy.
Heavy on that though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of nuance to human beings. Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect, but it's like doing your best and trying your best is important.
Yeah.
understanding right from wrong. That would be probably the
And
best way to put it.
perspectives in the end of the day.
Yeah,
Right. Making at least one person's life better than maybe yours for even a day.
that's true. Because right and wrong could be subjective in that sense. Because I'm stealing to feed my kids. That could be like right, like that could be a perception. Like I have no money. There's no way I have any other way to get food, and those kids will die. I don't care about food for me, and I just robbed this grocery store real quick. Maybe like a few little things. Like there's that. I feel like is if anything, I would totally like stand up for that person. I'd be like,
Yeah.
shit, I'll even donate. But like then the rotation is too. If the guy was standing outside asking for the donation, everybody would be like, fuck off. Like, are you looking for crack?
Right. Perspective
Yeah.
is key. Exactly.
Perspective is key.
Yeah.
Welcome
All right.
to
Heavy,
this
heavy.
generation.
Welcome to
Yeah.
the Winner Table Podcast.
Yeah. I
let's-
swear I was
let's-
about to break down, crying a little bit, thinking about the.
Yeah, we got deep with it.
Let's
Moral
let's
mortality.
get into your stage performance, and
Let's
I
do
want to
it.
pull up can you grab the phone, Lance, so we can start getting that song ready?
Give me
But
a second.
when it comes to performing on stage, what is your process? How important is it to you? Who inspired you to for your stage presence and performing?
Wow. I have to give all praises to my artist development coach, Natalie K. Robertson of OK Productions. Shout out to you. I love you. Thank you so much for constantly inspiring me. So I initially didn't have anybody that I could look at as
Okay.
somebody that I wanted to be able to perform like.
Right.
Not because I didn't respect their talent or their skill, but because I guess issues with body dysmorphia for me. I look at myself. I'm very lanky. I'm a long person.
Yeah.
So I look a little bit awkward when I make certain movements. And not only that, but I also have scoliosis. So like a couple of those elements make me, they make me look a little janky when I walk. So just
Damn.
being on a stage was I was excited to tackle a stage always. There was never a moment where I was afraid to get on a stage, but I always got on a stage with an insecurity. And yeah, so when I finally connected with my artist development coach, not only was I being trained vocally, but she was training me on how to move according to my body type and how to not only move just according to my body type, but to pull the audience in, to connect with them, not just through my words, but through my body movements.
What are they called again? The performance coach?
Oh yeah, artist development coach.
Okay, well.
Yes, yes.
That
Natalie
sounds-
K. Robertson of OK Productions. Yes.
Okay, I mean-
out in Nashville.
Oh, I just said okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Nashville. Did you have
Yeah.
to go out to Nashville to work with her?
No, I have gone several times.
Okay.
She's great. She runs a stellar professional production.
But you could do Zoom.
Yeah, I can do Zoom,
Fuck,
FaceTime.
dude. What?
Yeah.
Movement coach is actually very important. To the
Yeah,
stage
man.
presence.
I'm like, I feel like sometimes I'm like, what am I doing with this arm? I'm
Right.
like, grab this mic.
And all of those things are valid. And I had those same concerns. And you know,
grabbing my balls at one point. Yeah, it's like, stop.
right? Am I holding them too long? Like, you feel me? Like,
Yeah, bro.
Right.
Was I supposed to hold him with the right hand, not the left?
It looked like I need to take a piss right now. Like,
Yeah, so you know there's a lot to that that's all valid, and it's important. It was important for me, at least, right, to make sure that while I was getting on a stage that I wasn't just getting up there and singing the song or rapping the words, because there's only but so far that can take you. That's why we have a studio. That's why we have streaming platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The stage is meant for more. So I wanted to be able to match the energy of the stage, which is so crazy because alone, think about it, a stage is just a stage.
Yeah.
Without you on it doing anything, there's nothing. It's nothing going on.
The
You gotta
stage
be that
is your
energy.
canvas,
Right.
and you're the artist.
But we think about what does the stage really bring? It brings you to it, and it brings the audience in front. So you have to be able to connect with the people who are coming to it, not just you, but the audience. So
That's very true. And I'll
Yeah.
think about some performers that I've seen that are just EDM performers, because that's kind of most of the shows. I've been to raves more or less.
yeah.
I said that twice. So one lady I remember, she just hops onto the board, standing, and just starts dancing as her set is kicking. And it was just like one of those moments I'm just staring in awe. My head is up, and just like watching. I'm like, there's just this presence of how
Yeah.
she's just so I don't give a fuck, and she's just dancing.
She's free up there.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
her song, and yeah, that's definitely. I feel like maybe she had some movement training and etc. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, not to needless to say, right? There, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can also get that kind of presence from experience.
Yeah.
Right. Like
It just takes a little longer, but
Yeah.
like you can still get it. Some people are
Always.
quick learners. It might, it all depends on the person. But for me in particular, again, my insecurity was my body type and the way I look. Right, I'm lanky, so I wanted to make sure when I get up there, I'm not only hitting the right movements for certain words to pull people in or leaning in and really connecting with who's in the front.
Interesting.
But also making sure that when I do that, I'm not looking crazy.
No, that's true. And there's one female artist we've seen at a few open mics and kind of like headlining show kind of things. She'll be dancing and like moving her body while she's really low, and then she gets really, and you're just so in awe. And she's wearing like a onesie outfit. Tinka, the lady that modeled yesterday,
okay.
she'll have like a whole one piece outfit.
out
So
to
it's
her. Wow.
always that thing that so it's either white or black. So you just know that's her. Yeah, it's so I could definitely see that being. And when Johnny performs, I've noticed that he just
yeah.
at certain moments he puts the mic down, he'll just start bumming his chest. I'm just like, those are things I want to pick up on.
I mean, to like go even further into what Ray was saying here, like it is also experience too. Part of it is experience, because I could say yes, from the first show I ever played back when I was 14 years old. So that goes into experience. Is like was at a teen club, Confetti. If you're from Jersey, you may know about Confetti, but that was my first show. So one of my first shows, I was already legally blind, and I remember my aunt and people around me saying, "Hey, you seem like you've done this before. You have poise." So I think there is a level of just like studying before that, because I would always watch performances. So there's that, but also the experience, because since that I've been played almost probably thousands of shows at this point. So it's like not only do you take the time to like think about what you want to do on stage, think about the people that inspire. That's almost why I asked that. The people that inspired you, that you watched, that you thought were awesome on stage, but just like practicing even in your room in front of the mirror. It's like, what can I do just to look cool, essentially? It's like, how can I look like someone that is epic and that is on stage? So I appreciate that. Thank you, Lance.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't think about looking in the mirror doing that.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that's
know why.
huge.
I do that for my fighting stuff. I'll be looking in the mirror, staring myself dead in the eyes, pop, 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 pop. But I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I also have had the blessing to work with a movement coach. It wasn't an artist development, but it was a movement coach, someone that like, taught you a little bit of dancing and this and that.
That does
on
make
stage.
sense. That does make sense. This all makes sense because I do look at my movements when I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, how's my arm when I pop?
Right.
This is all making sense, right?
Yeah.
Another
You guys are
important
witnessing
tip-
my mind.
He's having an aha moment.
Important tip, artists, record your set and watch it back from beginning
Yes.
to end
Yeah.
and critique yourself.
Yes.
Don't be hard on yourself. Don't get negative, but critique yourself.
Do that for if you're a wrestler, football player, basketball player. You should be recording your games, your rounds, your fights, your whatever the fuck you're doing, because I don't give a fuck if you got knocked out in your boxing match or whatever. You watch
But now
that.
you're going to see that punch and knock you out and you
Right.
say, holy crap, why did I
Yeah.
not see that coming?
Right.
And as a fighter, I'll say it's very hard to watch when you get knocked. I got knocked out in state championships of Taekwondo in 2015.
Knocked
It was
out?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever got knocked out. Kicked me in the head. I blacked, and then he kicked me again. It was like a double kick, bop, bop. And I woke up on the second kick
Oh, damn.
as I was falling, and it was just one of those moments of like, what
So
the
he
fuck
knocked
just
you out
happened?
and brought you back to life as you were.
Yes,
Yo,
yes,
not the
dude.
midway resuscitation.
And I was getting my ass beat. The score, when I looked at the board while I was on the ground, I looked at the board because it was one of those decisions of like, do I stay on the ground or right? I looked at the board, it was 23-0.
You were like, I'm going to stay on the ground.
Yeah. Let me just chill here and take this L.
Yeah, the doctor was like looking in my eyes. He looked at my coach. He was like, he's fine.
You're like, no, I'm done.
shit.
Yeah, I'm done. I look at and I remember watching the footage only once, and it was just like one of those quenching, like you're just embarrassed. You just can't. I'm never looking at that again.
Wow.
So I could understand, but I've learned since then. No, you have to go and watch it. Even if I got choked out in my most recent competition, at first it was hard to watch, but then I was like, wait, let me go see how it happened. And it was like, oh. I became a wrestler. I was fucking just not caring about the choke or
Right.
something. Like,
But
and now I
that
know these
review-
things. I needed that.
you needed that, right? And you were able to see by looking at the footage and everything. So I feel like whatever you dedicated to,
Yeah.
make sure you do some kind of filming, practicing in the mirror.
Right.
Technology is available for this.
Right.
Because let me put you guys on some winner's theory. So I always say this: L plus L equals W. Loss plus learning equals
I
winning.
love
It's
that.
because if you just lose and don't take anything from it, you're just gonna keep repeating those same mistakes. So if you can actually, critique yourself, obviously, don't be so hard on yourself, but critique yourself in a way that actually helps you improve, then you didn't lose. You actually gained knowledge from that loss.
Yes, that's the true meaning of success.
Absolutely.
Going through failure over and over.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess that's true, right?
There was this guy who it was posted on Instagram. This guy, he went to every world championship jiu-jitsu competition from 2014 to 2024, and he got third place, second place, third place, second place, second place, fourth place, second place, third place, and then 2024 first place. And it was like one of those things. It was like he tried until he won. You know, like, it's like you. And now he's leveled up, one of the best, right? Like it's like
that's the dedication.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah, and it takes that time. We have on our hoodies. It's you're not
no such thing as losing, only learning.
Yeah, no such thing as losing, only learning. And I'll remember that. It was my first MMA fight. I was so nervous, and the guy running the whole thing, he's the promoter. His name is Frankie Steele. Shout out. And he just simply was like, "Hey guys, I know it's a lot of your first times, but today you're not losing, you're only learning. And if you win, you better try to learn." Yeah. So in a way, he was saying, don't walk away like, oh, go and try to learn from that. So it's a very interesting perspective because people will probably be like, oh, I won, so I don't even need I'm good. No, be careful. Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm perfect. I'll keep doing it.
Right, absolutely. What sports did you ever get involved in anything in high school?
Oh man, I kind of wish I did. So one of the downsides of not having a male role model in my life was that I didn't innately have sports in my home.
Right.
So, and being that my mom was not ever really at home much, what I was occupied with was television and video games.
Yep.
And, I think
a movie buff?
Yeah, movies, TV show. Right. So, I didn't really tune into it. And then when I finally got into school and wanted to learn, I went to a predominantly white school, and I was part of the minority. So when I tried to learn how to play the sports, I didn't necessarily fit in the people who look with the people who look like me, and then I wasn't accepted by the people who didn't look like me, right?
Damn.
So, and I'm talking about even as far as like the coaches, the teachers. Yeah. So there were moments I remember particularly where I wanted to learn how to play football and I just couldn't get it right. And I think after 3 times, they just sat me out for the whole shit every time. Yeah. And then, even with basketball, like there were times where I went to camps and I would play basketball just freelance, and that's fun and all, but to play it as a sport, I never had the right attention that I needed to be able to do what I have to do. The one thing I did end up learning was swimming.
That's good though.
So funny enough, my mom, she was an aqua Zumba fitness instructor. So she taught
one of the 3 jobs.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Amazing.
So she taught. So every weekend I would go into the city with her, and I learned how to swim really early on, and I was doing aqua Zumba. I was fit at the time, and then she put me in a camp where I learned how to swim, and eventually I got into a team. But that didn't last long either because my main focus was music.
Right.
So when I got into music, I found the people to help me, to give me the attention I needed to help my career.
That's important.
And this is what I needed in those other areas, but that's neither here nor there because I didn't need to be in those places anyway. It wasn't for me. You feel me?
No.
I mean, at least it was one of those. I feel like there's like 2 skills that are an important sport. That would be fighting and swimming. It's like you get thrown in the ocean or a lake, you're good.
Right.
And if there's a shark, you can punch it.
Yeah.
So, what's that one thing that you would say, that's what makes me different from then to now?
I would say the mentality. I think I was very distracted. I know this is going to sound crazy. First of all, before I say what I'm about to say, y'all need to go to school, pay attention, learn, get good grades.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
Like educate yourselves.
Educate yourself.
Do not take what I'm saying and misinterpret. But I think I was very distracted by homework and what I was learning in school because I didn't necessarily agree with everything I was learning.
Right.
And I didn't have anybody at home to help me with homework. And even the teachers who I went to help with felt like I was a nuisance. So,
Damn.
I didn't really all around have a great experience at all in school.
Bro, what you're a Jersey boy, what town did you grow up in?
I grew up in Old Bridge.
Old Bridge, okay.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Bridge.
And so you would say leaving high school, if anything, was that help? Like just not having to worry about the things you didn't care about. So that was what even helped your mentality switch.
Yeah, I mean, because I was able to focus on the things I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit there and learn about all of the things that were irrelevant to me.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be in music courses, but I couldn't do that because I was failing other classes.
And the
Right.
thing that I find too is all
Interesting.
the people that at a young age have their eyes open to like, I won't need this in the future.
Interesting.
Most
Yep.
of the time, they like either don't do well in school or do really well and then just don't really like think much of it. But it's because they already have something set out for them, something etched out in their mind. And they're like, well, why do I really need to learn this geometry? This is not going to help me when I need to pan to the left or the right on this music. You know,
Right.
it's
That's
like,
interesting.
you know, like, so having that and being at a young age and you saying that you're distracted or like, you know, you weren't really, I feel like it was more just like you knew it wasn't your outcome in the future. So you didn't necessarily have to focus on it almost.
Right.
And the moment you got out, it was off. You were already.
Yeah, like most people, right, with this type of career will plan for a plan B. If this doesn't work out, oh, I'll go and be,
Right.
a tech bro, or
Right.
I'll work a barista at Starbucks, whatever. People will have that, and there's no shade to those jobs, but it wasn't for me. That was never my intention. My plan B was like, if being an artist doesn't work out, I'm going to be a successful producer, songwriter, engineer.
I see what you
You
mean.
see what
Yep,
I'm
yep,
saying?
yep,
Like
yep.
I will be in this industry. I'm not
No matter
going
what.
anywhere. Okay?
I see what you mean.
You know what
I-
Party
I
Next
like
Door
that.
said? Still on plan A, pussy niggas on plan B.
Heavy on it. Yeah.
So, COVID, did that affect anything in a sense? Because did that change, whether a positive change or did it negatively affect in a sense?
In terms of like my music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so COVID did affect the initially the release of my first EP, Urban City Elegance.
Oh, wow.
Right. I brought it to my producer. Shout out to Treadway, 2-time platinum producer,
Oh.
super big industry guy. I was blessed to meet him and work with him, and I brought him the project in 2019. And I was very early on as an artist. I came to him and I was like, "Look, bro, I think I came to him in January and said I want this project done and out by April," and I had like 10 songs ready to go.
Right.
And he just looked at me, started laughing. He's like, "You need to be patient. This is not how this works.
Right.
You have a project. You need to take your time. We need to build this up right. We need to give it the care it deserves. You need to treat this like this is your baby."
Yes.
Okay. And I learned so much from him in that regard, because if I had put out things before it was ready to go, I would not have met my artist development coach in time to perfect those songs.
Interesting.
I would not have shifted and learned and grown from the perspective I had on those projects and those songs. And then ultimately too, I wouldn't have gotten the music industry experience I needed if I rushed that. So COVID slowed everything down. I think I didn't end up releasing Urban City Elegance until 22.
Oh,
And yeah, so I brought it to him in 2019, but didn't release until 2022.
Wow.
And then when we finally released it, it only came out with 5 songs.
I mean,
So-
thank you for
interesting.
saying that too, because I'm like, a lot of people think it has to be rushed, but honestly, being patient is important.
Oh
And
man,
taking your time can be
It's huge.
very important.
I think about COVID a lot with a sense of like how the dark ages, and always with the dark ages follows the Renaissance. You feel me? So like we're in the Renaissance as we speak. So I think about it because in COVID, I mean before COVID, for me at least, I was leaving high school, and that's why I asked that question. I thought I knew exactly what I was gonna do too, and I was like, I don't need certain classes. There were certain classes that I knew were gonna help me, anatomy, etc. Was an A student in those things. I was like, I'm gonna be a personal trainer, da da da. And COVID hit, and it gave me the space and time to think, and me realizing I don't even want to compete against scammers. In that sense, that's how I thought about it. It's
Yeah.
like a whole bunch of people just with their own cult. It's like keto or intermittent this. It's like, all right, it's all different types of religions at this rate, and I don't want to sell anything like
Wow.
that. So I pulled out, and it's like, all right, what am I going to do with myself? And music was, again, what came to be with COVID. So find it very interesting how like COVID is like
It's
some sort of
interesting.
turning point.
Yeah, I feel like COVID did actually. 2020 was everyone looked at it like it was going to be this. This is it. This is the 2020 vision year, and then it almost was
Cleared our
It
visions.
cleared everyone's vision in a way. So it's almost like COVID had a way of telling everyone to stop and look around, reassess, and I feel like a lot of people did actually come out on the other side with a whole new perspective. not only just on whatever it is, but on their life and their goals.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, hell, again, I was learning so much in that time that I needed to be able to sit here now to talk about it with you guys.
This is
feel me?
and this is I think a great time to like I want to hear something
Yeah.
like I want to hear your favorite, but I think it would be best also to play what you're going to be playing on tour.
Yeah,
So
play something
maybe
that they
maybe
could
a
be
mix of the
excited
both.
for.
What are your favorite song you're gonna play on tour? It's a
yeah.
mix of the both. It's
So
a
that's
compromise.
tough, man. I mean, let me tell you. So, like, I definitely love all my songs. So, picking out a favorite is hard. But if I had to pick one, I would say most people right now are resonating with "Can't Blame You." Like, I find that to be like,
radio edit.
yeah.
No, don't do the radio. We want to hear it explicit.
Honestly, they're both the same. I don't know why. So I released them originally through DistroKid, and
okay.
for whatever reason, they separated. Even though there's no curses in that song
Oh, so
on
either
both
way,
versions of the right.
That's
cool, that's
hilarious.
I don't know why they did that, but most people will sing this record back to me, and it's just so catchy and energetic. And man, this has definitely become one of my favorites to perform on stage for sure.
Let's hear it.
I the Bluetooth.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, we got it. We got it. We got it. Yeah. So this record is a mixture of hip hop. I got like I'm rapping a little bit in the verses, and then the chorus is more of like the EDM pop vibe. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's do it.
Chorus, EDM, pop vibe.
Blame you.
Damn.
Wow. What?
Hold on. I gotta ask: is
Thank
the
you.
next goal the next? I don't know.
What's this?
Give him a
little 5-second
I need to ask this. Would the next step be to get it remixed by like a bigger DJ?
Wow. Actually, that's a great question.
Manager? No, but like that wouldn't that be kind of like the idea if you could get like Subtronics like to have I don't know. Obviously, that's a really big artist. but, like,
Honestly, the
you get
goal
those people to remix it
would
right?
be like Diplo or fucking Major Lazer or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And a simple like remix in a sense of like they get to do their own scratch or version and like break down, and I think that would be a good way to, because that's how a lot of these other EDM artists in a sense pop out. But this is again different. You're being a hip hop. Dude,
I just want to talk about your artistry right quick. I really love the contrast between your rap delivery, your rap voice, and your singing. It was so like,
dude, what?
Thank you.
It was
Thank
so
you.
interesting how you were coming in. It was like the deep voice, and you were rapping. It almost
Sound
seemed
like
like it
Pop
had a
Smoke
little bit.
I was
Had a
like,
little
oh,
bit of
what
a,
is
it seemed like it had a little bit of an accent to it at one point, and then you started singing. It was like, whoa. Is he featuring on his own song? It almost seemed like,
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's beautiful that you're able to actually do that. Have you always also? What came first, rapping or singing for you?
Both.
But,
Honestly.
okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But what about inspiration wise? Like if it's like the number one guy on your list of like you've been inspired.
How about this? We'll do top three. Who are some artists that inspired you?
But
Top
number
three
one
artists.
being like priority, because then that gives you an idea of like, what are you singing hip hop? What is it? What is it?
Well, funny enough, again, like we look at Kanye West, who does both singing
Fuck, you
and
got
rapping.
me, bro. I
Yeah,
can't. All
so
right,
like
well, all
we
right.
look at the Black Eyed Peas, who do rapping and singing.
right, well,
No,
like,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
you feel
Okay,
me?
You got me.
Yeah.
I love asking people their inspiration to artists that inspired them because it actually you start to see, oh, that makes sense.
That
Now I
does
see
make
where you
sense.
get your artistry from. So who's number 3 on the list?
Number 3, oh man, I would say most recently Nicki Minaj.
Man, what
Yeah.
about Tyler? I wonder because you have the fit of Tyler, bro. It's like
Tyler the Creator, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
right?
Tyler, bro.
but Tyler's. What do you think about his new album? Actually, just out of
I actually
curiosity?
haven't heard it yet, so
Yeah,
yeah, I'm about to tap into that. I gotta listen to it.
Listened to a few songs.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Hearing about it is something we need to learn about too,
Marketing.
in a sense. Like, yeah. I think one thing I noticed, which was very interestingly key, was he sets a theme, like some sort of like album theme, and through those promotion clips on Instagram and music videos, they all share a theme. Is that something that you would try to aim for with your upcoming releases or like any music videos?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, Urban City Elegance follows that morale, right?
I like that.
That blueprint where there is a storyline there.
I like it.
That whole project is literally about relationship failure and then coming out of that, finding myself again and being free of all the toxicity, all of that. So, but as far as like my upcoming projects, I have another project that's releasing soon. And that project I wrote right after my mom died. So you can definitely expect to hear a lot about that story in a brand new context. So it's gonna sound a little bit different from Urban City Elegance, but it's next level in terms of the production. As far as like we had some major session players on this next upcoming project.
So would you say with that project you were kind of working on like not just producing in a sense of like beats, but like having actual artists play instrumentation on the on this project?
Right. So I worked in collaboration with Natalie K. Robertson, who owns the production company out there.
Oh wow, okay.
And she was able to bring in, I'm telling you, like people who are playing for Reba, people who are playing for Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift, Usher, big people.
That's
onto this next project. Yeah. So
congratulations on that.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Like
yeah.
I'm excited for you, bro. That's really
appreciate
cool.
that.
The reality of that sometimes it's inconceivable in my head, but one day for me. Yeah, because I know you've been doing also Johnny for 10 years, toured with all these.
I mean,
motherfuckers.
at this point, probably longer than 10 years. Because I'm actually the same age as you, 28.
28-year-olds. You guys
So-
relate.
Are you a Libra?
Scorpio. My birthday was
Scorpio.
literally 2 weeks ago.
Happy belated, brother.
Thank you. October 30th, bro.
Wait, what?
Just
And
turned
you a
28.
Libra then?
Yeah, I'm September
really?
24th.
Oh, happy belated, bro.
Thank
My
you.
sister's a Libra.
So you're,
Word?
so you're
Okay.
1996 as well.
96.
Yeah, hell yeah.
90s baby.
You're
90s,
right.
baby. You see the drip? Hold on.
90s babies in the building.
Yeah,
B.I.G. Let's go.
B.I.G. Check it out. All
Hold
right,
on.
all right.
Hold
Oh, I
up.
fuck with that.
2000s baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to 2000.
Nobody. All right, wait. I want to play the next track. Hold up.
Play
What's
play
another track that you would recommend? And you said something with your mother. Which one would that be?
So that's not out yet.
That's
That's
gonna be
an
the new
upcoming project. Yeah, that's an
Damn, I
upcoming
was like-
project.
I'm like,
This inspired
Dude,
me a little
this
bit
is
to
amazing.
ask you this.
Thank you.
So I know you said Nicki Minaj is one of your inspirations. Was Pink
Yeah.
Friday an influential album?
I definitely
What
love.
was one of your favorite albums out of that? Like,
Yeah, I guess I would say Pink Friday was top tier
that
when
shit
it came out.
Because
Yeah.
back when Young Money was just getting fresh and like everyone was dropping, like that was a monumental moment. I
Oh,
feel
it
like,
was
for a lot
pivotal.
of people
What?
that like were
Yeah.
influenced by Young Money, Drake, Nicki Minaj, even
YMCMB.
Tyga.
Oh
YMCMB.
my
I
God.
want
Yo,
PNB to feature with you, but like, he was alive, right? R.I.P.
I
bro.
always
Like, dog,
wanted-
that was. I'm just hearing this. I'm like, damn, like, that's really beautiful, bro.
What's your
voice
process?
is very, amazing.
When you're in the
Amazing.
studio, how does it work? Do you write? Do you punch in? Do you just go off the emotion? Like,
That's
what
a good
is
question.
it,
Man, so my writing process is really just me compiling a bunch of melodies together and then coming up with the words.
What about the beat? Does it come first or?
In some cases, yes. In most
there's
cases,
another case where it comes after.
yeah. Like I
like
will
that.
hear melodies in my head and then pull out my phone and do a little like it right into the phone
Yeah.
and come back to it later. Be like, you know what? I need to write something to this, and I'll come up with lyrics and then I'll start producing around that.
I gotta steal that idea. I
bro?
like that.
So you have done a thing where you'll basically have the idea and then you'll produce the beat around the idea.
Yeah.
Because I find today a lot of artists actually have the beat there and then they work around the beat. But it's almost more creative and like more of like the canvas is more like it's a different canvas you're working with when you put the melody first and then you're like, let's build around this.
Right. And I think another big blessing in my case is that I've been working with producers from scratch. So I've never really had a situation where I have, picked a beat off of YouTube, for example.
Major key
and then-
Yeah,
I mean, we're all guilty of it
I'm
because
just,
it's like,
I'm thinking like
if
all
you
the
don't
YouTube
have
beats.
those connections to like work with the producer like
Yeah.
that, sit down and work from scratch. I do think some of the most beautiful music is made from sitting down with scratch and
Absolutely.
making that beat, like creating the emotion and really setting the vibe, the energy, like having those peaks and valleys in the
Right.
beat.
There's a level of control that you just don't get with something that's already made, and there's a level of connection that you get with something that someone you can sit down with versus somebody who's all the way across the world and can't communicate with you or shake your hand at the bare minimum.
Yep.
And then you just pay them
Right.
a large amount for exclusive rights, and you're like,
Right.
here you
And
go.
then
Right.
Tyler, the creator, he basically was doing that. It's like a big fuck you. He engineered it all himself, the words he was saying, but then he'd like play a little trumpet, and that was like 3 seconds, random spot. He had Baby Keem come in for a that like his like catch thing. It's like he's just randomly placing what he feels in his heart, in his mind, and his time that he taken.
Yeah.
Talking back to taking your time with shit, he definitely did that. I don't know when was his last album?
I can't.
Yeah,
There's-
just
I don't
that
know.
reaction alone, I think,
yeah.
tells us a lot.
No, I mean the thing is, as an artist, sometimes you get so deep into what you're working on that sometimes you forget to go and find more inspiration.
Yeah.
Have you ever almost come into that problem where it's like I'm so deep onto just working on music, I forget. Let me find some new music. Let me listen to and keep up with what's going on.
I'll be so honest with you right now. No, because what I did, I'm a very A-type personality.
Okay.
So when I plan things out, I plan things to a T.
I love that.
I've worked on enough music to be released for the next 3 years. So right now, my focus is just touring and doing shows and all of those things. Now, I am going to come off of doing shows and touring quite soon.
Okay.
I have a big show coming up on the 15th at Abstract Studio and Gallery in Brooklyn, New York. That's at 58 South 6th Street. Make sure if you're watching and you're in New York during that time, tap in, come to the show. It's going to be super, super amazing, phenomenal. We have great acts. But that show is going to kind of close out a chapter of touring and doing shows for me, because one of the things I did wrong in my plan, I would say, is that I didn't at all really focus on collaborating with other artists.
Wow.
So I want to spend the time to kind of revisit my music and also reach out and say, hey, I'd love to build a working relationship with you and, for lack of better words, have a baby.
Yeah.
Create that baby.
Yeah.
I started my artist career kind of just working with collabs, if anything. That was my
Wow.
only thing I wanted to do, because I saw it as, if Leonardo da Vinci and Vincent van Gogh worked together, like, what would it be like? Because it's like that idea of artists have always been known as greats, sometimes mostly alone. But what if they did make an art piece together? Probably a lot of fighting, a lot of paint on each other. But at the end of the day, what does come out on the canvas might be the most beautiful contrasted thing to occur. And I always, hence to certain artists, like, your opinion's your opinion. If we're talking about a love song and one person is talking about how much he hates girls, but the other one's like how he can't stop loving, that's still a part of that theme. So that contrast is required. Their vocal differences was required. If they have different cadences they want to write, that will create contrast. And I feel like that is something that I find is a genuine beauty to do, is a collab. But that would be the same to go as with the production side of things, which you have been deeper into.
Yeah.
Where you get to contrast that mentality with the other artist who's making the beat and etc.
Right.
So that's something I have never dealt with, and I would love to keep deep diving into that shit. This has definitely been a beautiful podcast. What would you say in the next 5 years is your goal?
In the next 5 years, I plan to grace some major stages. Just because I'm taking a break from shows doesn't mean I'm stopping forever. I definitely plan to grace some major stages, work with some major names, and become a major name myself.
Facts.
If I'm not fully like a household radio name in 5 years, I would at least like to be popping enough between Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey to have like
Your own headlining shows
Right.
that,
I love that.
you're
yeah,
getting paid off of.
right.
And I guess another weird question. Do you know Hobson?
Yeah, the artist Hobson.
Yeah.
I don't know them personally, but
No.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, now, what's your opinion on his artist development, as like how he's not technically, but he's been in the game for so long. I
Well, I
think
guess
he's
the-
like that one artist I love, and I just think about it sometimes.
I
I'm
guess
like,
the
damn.
question he's kind of asking is like artists that are like well known but not household names. What would you say about that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I would say that they are on a level where they are connecting with an audience, and at the same time, they are in a place where they are maintaining that connection with their audience, both on a career level and on a personal level. So I would say they're successful.
And you'd
Yeah.
say even like on a financial level, they're probably fine.
Oh, more than
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
So like if they're able to maintain that connection, because let's be so for real, that connection to the audience doesn't come for free.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
So-
Not at all.
Right. So I think if they're doing that, they're doing it. And that defines at least some level of success, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And I think as a music artist, a lot of people could get like almost blinded by I have to be that household name, I have to be that household
Right.
name before they realize that if I have an audience that actually fucks with me, will pay for my merchandise and come to my shows and see me, I've made it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can survive and pay for my family, take care of my family off of music, I've made it. You know, that at the same point, that is really important. But obviously, you know, we all want to be at that one point. But it's
Yeah.
like if you can get there, it still is a huge success because a lot of people cannot.
Yeah.
Right.
Stories about Lil Skies, for example, he made it to how big he did. And then he went to Pennsylvania, moved to the suburbs. Now he lives in a nice, quaint little house. He released an album recently trying to get back into the music career, but he needed to completely take away. So maybe even going too fast and getting too high up there is not the best. Like Hobson's still in the game
I mean,
for how long he's been doing it.
There is a level. There is a cap, right? I mean, let's. Are we going to talk about Diddy?
Oh,
Yeah. Honestly, I think
Are we going to mention his name? The Boogeyman?
You know what?
I love the
I get
Boogeyman.
scared. Sometimes I'm worried he might be behind me, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
let's not say
Nah,
his
he's
name
locked
3
up, bro.
times.
we were in
locked
New York
up.
City yesterday. I was like, shit, bro.
Nah,
he
he's
might be-
23-hour lockdown. He ain't getting out.
Yeah, dude. I guess you could get that much power and go crazy with it.
Right.
But you know what I think about that? Because we could say this: was P. Diddy altered by the power he was given, or was his moral compass always jacked up, or was
I
it
think-
trauma from him being in the industry, being around other people that had a moral compass that was fucked up that led him to be there? So the question is always, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Was he always just overall that was his goal, just to be fucked up, or did someone fuck him up? Like, how was it? Do you think power can always fuck someone up? Do you think power is always going to
Maybe-
mess someone up?
I think when you hold a certain level of responsibility, there's no one side or the other that's going to fully appreciate whatever decision you make. It's difficult because you have to think about that. Like, there's nothing you can really do that's going to satisfy anybody, whether you're at the top or the bottom. It just gets harder up there.
Yeah, that's actually cool that you say that too, because I know there are a lot of artists that struggle with they want everyone to like them. Like, I was actually talking to my younger sister. She's also an artist, and something she says is, I make the music for everyone. I want everyone to like me, and I had to tell her, listen,
Right.
like, you can't make it for everyone. There's people that are not gonna like it, and that's fine. But you can't satisfy everybody, and trying to do that will actually burn you out more than it would actually, fulfill you.
That's that's not even for artists. I feel like that could just even be for the average Joe. If you're trying to appeal to everybody, just expect to feel drained.
If you appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one.
Yep. You gotta stand 10 toes on who you are.
Yo, deep lessons, yo. We
Fucking
got
Cloud
5
Ray in
minutes
the
left.
building.
I want to wrap this up with some. What would you say to the kids, to the people? What is that one word of advice that you would give to your younger self, even?
One word, I would say trust.
Ooh.
Trust yourself.
Damn.
Trust your ability to follow through. Trust your ability to grow. Trust your ability to be who you are. And trust that what you do is making a difference in some capacity, whether you see it or not. Because no matter what field, career, or life you're in, you're here. And there's a reason why you're here, and there's so much to be done while you're here. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Can you also, to anyone that's going through something and maybe doesn't know how to get through it, what do you do to stay positive and keep pushing through and staying optimistic in life?
Definitely have a support system. Find that, whether it's through friends, family, even personal devices, journaling, creating music. I think I like to believe that naturally everybody is creative in some form. So explore that. Don't allow your inner child to die out.
Damn.
It's waiting there for you just to nurture it, just to say, hey, I'm still here. That acknowledgement. So to answer your question, I would say just continue to explore yourself and also find your support system. Find what works for you.
Wow, I love that.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Yo.
What's your favorite song out right now?
Yeah.
My favorite song out right now? Oh, well, let me tell you something. I am one of those people that, like, once a song has come out, even if it's like 3 years old, it's still my favorite song today.
So which
You
one
know
is
me?
it?
I could agree to that. Yeah.
Which one
I'm
is
probably there's some tracks that like they're an old song and I'm like, this is still my favorite song right now. I'm still listening.
I'm gonna have to take my glasses off for this. So,
Oh shit.
Thames, if you watching this, I just want you to know I absolutely love your artistry, your music, and right now, I love your new project, by the way, Born to Be Wild. Yeah, that's absolute. Every song is fire. You sound just like an angel, and I love that you brought Sade influences into that project, but I'm still kicking it back to Free Mind and The Key. Those two records particularly are pushing me through and probably my favorites. But Thames, I love you.
Yo, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and this was an amazing podcast. Man, super deep. I love this.
Yes.
This was a banger.
Thank you
This is
both
really
for
amazing.
having me on
thank you for
the
coming
winners.
on.
The winners table. I absolutely feel honored to be here and
Thank
to talk
you.
to you guys. You both have an amazing story, and I'm just glad I got to come on here and talk to you a little bit about mine today. Thank you
No,
for shining a
absolutely.
spotlight on me today.
No.
You guys are the stars for
Nah,
real. Like,
bro.
No,
Nah, bro.
I feel like your star
It's
and
so
your
beautiful.
story is just as powerful.
Yo,
and
for
like,
real.
so I just love the fact that since this podcast has started, we've been able to bring on so many inspirational and like powerful people in their own right, in the sense of they are inspirational to others, and like you've gone through so much. And I love to show that there's people that allow trauma to actually build them into a better person. And I just want to say thank you, bro. Like,
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man. I learned a lot today. I hope you guys learned a lot. This was Lance Prince.
Johnny Walker.
and it's your boy Cloud Ray.
Guys, if you're watching this before you're going to bed, sleep well. If you're watching this while eating, eat well. Enjoy your day. Love you.
Thank you guys.
Big dubs.
W.
We out.
Oh,
Yo,
another banger.
my God.
Another-
I appreciate you.
Thank you
so much.
Yo, that was powerful.
Thank you.
A lot of parallels from Jersey, growing up in
My
like
eyes,
a primarily
bro.
white town. Like,
I'm like, yeah. This was Lance Prince.
Johnny Walker,
It's your boy Cloud Ray.
and this is the Winner Table Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and checking out. And please don't forget to check out Cloud Ray. All his links and all that are going to be in the description.
Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, guys. You know what to do. And we love you so much. TheWinnerTable.com. Check the link below for some clothes, too. We also leave all of their merch brands and etc. below. Guys, we love you.
Stay blessed. Stay lit. One love.
Righty.